This thing's great. It's created by Mark Harrison. He's a tech lead at Pixar, and Pixar has got an incredible set of creative minds that work there. We did a Maker Camp tour at Pixar last year, and it was almost like a mini Maker Faire in itself, just from the staffers there that are makers. Mark Harrison loves drones, builds a variety of different quadcopter setups. Had a challenge with a couple buddies about who could make a crash-proof, super safe drone setup. And what's more safe and less threatening than a pool noodle? So I think
actually actual noodles might be a little safer, but I don't think they were rigid enough to hold the electronics.
Depends on how long you boil them for.
Look at that.
Yeah, so this thing's great. It's you know, and part of what makes this great, along with so much of the stuff that we're talking about, the technology is getting so accessible.
It's almost
so
off the shelf now, isn't it?
It really is. You know, like you build a frame, you put your motors in the four corners. You've got a flight controller that sits right here in the center. This is a 3D robotics flight controller. You've got your GPS. So as long as you've got your flight controller situated right and everything's registering correctly, this thing's auto-correcting itself, so you've got stabilized flight. And that's
so you don't really anymore have to know how to make a drone work, because the flight controller handles the 4 different props and all of that.
Right, yeah. I mean, if we
it's just a plug-and-play part.
At this point it is, yeah. 4 years ago, 2011.
This was super sophisticated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
You know, what's so cool about this is, you know what we owe this to this and that? Smartphones.
Yeah.
It's a miniaturization and the cheapification of amazing technology that has communications, sensors, processing power, and display technology, which we're not using here. It's all so cheap now that people are just remixing it into things you can buy. Flight controllers, microcontroller boards, relay boards. We'll show you some other stuff. It's just
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So because we've got the manufacturing capacity for these smartphones ramped up, the technology's ramped up, you can buy very inexpensive parts that can do an amazing job.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a sophisticated computer.
It absolutely is, and this is, it has a GPS sensor on it. You've got electronic speed controls. You got your radio receiver there.
If you're not doing this stuff, you're missing out. I mean,
really
why
are.
wouldn't you? This is the coolest thing ever.